Just a pretty place. Mate, how beautiful is this? Even I've got to say it's a pretty special place for a Victorian mate. Crystal clear water, flooded river arm with trees all the way through it and chock-a-block full of bass.
I'm used to these impoundments of yours being stocked with trout, yellowbelly and cod and the likes. Billy, to come here and catch bass down south. I had to come and see it to believe it. I thought you guys were pulling my leg when you said you were catching bass in places like this, and to see obviously the size range that's in here now, from this fingerling size up to 20s and up to 30 centimetre fish.
Yeah. And keep in mind too, there's brown trout in here as well.
Far means no monster, but what it lacks in size it makes up for a novelty, because that is my first Victorian bass, and I've travelled to what I believe to be one of the most southern waters that you'll find, one of our iconic freshwater species, the Australian bass. After stocking attempts by fisheries, I have to really give it to the Victorian guys. They've taken great care and diligence in terms of stocking a lot of our favourite recreational species into a lot of our impoundments. This has been a bit of a trial of theirs to get bass going in some of the southern waters. By all means, it's starting to have an impact. There are bigger ones here. The guys have been getting fish 20s, 30s, 35s and the occasional 40s showing up, so a sign of a few years now of efforts to stock Australian bass into what we're fishing on today, the Blue Rock Dam. There you go. The day is a bit young, but that's the first one.
Creating bass fisheries in Victoria has been a challenging journey. It's taken us more than 15 years. Anglers that had fished in Queensland and New South Wales lakes came back to Victoria and said, we want something similar, so our challenge was to find where we could do that in Victoria. Australian bass are native to our coastal flowing streams in East Gippsland, down to about Wilson's Prom. So it didn't take us long to identify Blue Rock Lake and Glen Maggie as two of the outstanding candidates for a bass stocking trial.
Who was probably... Oh, God, that's a better fish.
Better fish, Billy? Net job. Oh, nice fish, Billy.
Okay. Now, that, I reckon, was a bit of a competitive effort, because just before this guy hit, another one probably about 50 millimetres hit it, mate, and just popped the lure up in the water. He's good fish. Not your 40s that you get up north, but for down south here, mate, that is a neat fish. And in another 2 seasons, I reckon these fish in here could push 30, 40 centimetres. Nige just on 30, so I am quite pleased about that, mate. Surface luring too, mate, Berkeley Scum Dog.
The next challenge was production. We needed 50 to 100,000 bass per year for about 5 years for a serious stocking trial. In 2002 and 2003, we found a private hatchery and worked with them for a couple of years to have inconsistent numbers. It wasn't reliable enough, so we had to look further afield. That's where an existing hatchery in Narooma in New South Wales, they were already producing bass, they were good at it, they'd been doing it for decades. So we partnered with them, we moved our brood fish up and we got serious. 5 years on and we stocked 100,000 bass into Blue Rock and about 84,000 into Glen Maggie.
Oh, yes, got it. Oh, yes. Oh, that's adrenaline stuff, Billy.
Good fish
geez,
too.
They got it going for timber. Look at that. Thought he's beaten, he's turned around and gone, there's a bit of timber, Nige. I might be as big as some of my Queensland counterparts, but I've still got the brain power to brick you at any chance I get. Isn't that awesome? To have the stillness of an impoundment like this, shattered by an Australian bass, crash tackling, a little walk the dog, stick bait across the surface. That's a kind of special freshwater fishing memory that stays in your mind for a long time, and to be doing it in a Victorian impoundment on a species like this, particularly special. That is just awesome.
No motor on the back, and I'm sure people watching would be wondering why we've got no petrol motor on the back, and that's because...
It just fell off.
Fell off, yeah.
Got here on the highway, where's the motor built?
It's actually illegal to have a boat with a motor on this lake over 10 horsepower. So unfortunately, you've got to take it off to use the lake.
If you do want to get out and chase an Aussie bass in a place like Blue Rock Dam, light is the order of the day, because the fish in here, not too big just yet. I didn't just go and steal some of Adam Reuter's 3B hard bodies. I got in amongst the Pure Fishing Factory and nicked some of their rods and reels as well. Today I'm using the Abu Vanguard in the 3 to 5 kilo range. It's ideal for light to medium estuary and your bass work. I've matched that up with an Abu Revo SX20. It's a 2000 size reel, perfect for this type of climate. Onto that, I've matched it up with 6-pound braid in the Fireline Tournament Exceed. It's an orange braid, casts beautifully, it's very visible, which means when you're casting around structure, you always know where that lure and line is. End of proceedings, we've got 10 and 6-pound fluorocarbon leaders to give us a little bit of abrasion resistance. About 2 meters of that, you're rocking and rolling, and finally the end of proceedings, the 3B Scum Dog in the Berkeley hard body range. An ideal surface lure if you want to get out and enjoy some of these Aussie bass. And I reckon a couple of you Victorian guys should definitely be out there and amongst it. Oh, here he comes, here he comes. Oh, eat it. Come on. He's rolled the lure, there you go. That is so much fun, Billy. Doesn't matter how big fish are when they're bashing surface lures like that. It's worth getting up at 4 AM on a Melbourne morning and hitting the highway for an hour and a half to come and see that sort of stuff.
What we're seeing now is a story of success. We've got happy anglers in Gippsland catching small bass. There's a few larger ones popping out. We've got a bass competition held in kayaks down there over summer. It's all pointing in the right direction. We've got rivers performing well. Where we've stocked fish in streams and rivers, we're hearing the same sort of news. It's all pointing towards an exciting future for bass in Gippsland. It's a really great program. It's funded by fishing licence fees and the Recreational Fishing Initiative. Fisheries managers are excited, and hopefully in another 10 years we'll have some bass fisheries that rival New South Wales and Queensland.
With these pencil style surface lures that you're going to find in the 3B range, this is the Scum Dog, ideal size for so many pursuits, whether you're in the estuary or the impoundment like this. And 3 standard ways I like to retrieve, and it's dictated by the type of mood you find the fish in. First one, very well known, what we call the walk the dog. Put it in position, keep your rod at about 45 degrees, and then slowly winding your reel, jiggle that rod tip up and down, and you'll find that lure starts to get a little side to side action. If I want to slow that retrieve down, what I then do, drop my rod tip closer to water level, a little bit more of a drawing movement with the rod tip, and I'll find that lure will get a bit more of a vigorous side to side action. And particularly when you're fishing for bass around your weed edges, rock lines, that's very often a really effective retrieve when they think something's landed and getting away from their little zone of feeding ground. One other very, very effective retrieve, it's worked really well for us on Blue Rock, is what I call a cicada style retrieve. Pitch your lure right up tight into those shadow areas and then drop that rod tip. And what you've really got to focus on doing is not trying to move your lure, you're just touching the belly of your line ever so slightly, just jerking the belly of your line, and all you'll do is move the lure in the tiniest little increments, just like a cicada or another insect that's landed, and it's making subtle little movements. It doesn't leave the strike zone. That's really, really important. Put it in those shady spots, just twitch it and hold on. Any of those 3 retrieves will catch your fish on the surface. It doesn't matter whether you're in the impoundment or out on the estuary.
Oh, good.
Come on, get him out.
Perfect.
There's lots of timber between me and this fish, Bill.
Got him.
Whew. Tell you what, Billy, the way these things are biting in those back corners, I'm glad they're not 40 yet. Because when they get bigger, people are going to lose plenty of battles. Oh, that's, I reckon, about as exciting freshwater surface fishing as you're going to find at the moment in Victoria. You're just pitching surface lures in the darkest little corners that you can find, twitching like little insects, and getting that little walk the dog retriever across the top. Just getting these guys to come out from their little lairs and bash things, and that is very visually stimulating, Bill. There you go. At the moment, these fish are around that 25 centimetre size. We have seen some smaller ones, and we've seen a couple of slightly bigger ones, which is good. Shows you that we've got a few classes of fish coming through, and with the amount of food in this impoundment at the moment, the health of these fish, signs are looking very good for the future. I'll get this guy back in the water.
Crunched it.
It's okay, so I thought he was a lot bigger the way he crash tackled that. I thought someone had thrown a brick in the water behind us there, Bill. There you go. Dark surface lures working well today.
Yep.
Pitched up, you know, it's all about accurate casting and then keeping a lure in that strike zone for as long as possible. Beautiful fish, mate. We'll get him back.
Yep.
See him in a couple of seasons. He's a brute.
Well, how good is that? 15 years ago I was catching brown trout here at Blue Rock Lake, and now bass, and even better on surface lures, which has got to be one of the favourite forms of fishing that I do. Around the trees.
Feels slightly better, this one, Bill. He's a better fish, Bill. He's a better one. That's a better fish. That's a better fish. Oh.
Much better fish.
Oh, that's exciting stuff. We're calling them the suicide cast at the moment, but the fish is sitting right up tight on little overhanging banks where there's trees, a bit of shade on the water. There's plenty of structure up in there. Tussocks, timber. You've got to cast a surface lure way up in the back pocket. And when it erupts and something chews on it, you've got a whole lot of work to do to get them back out, because although they're not big, these fish are programmed to finding every bit of structure they can get their smart little heads into. So you know, Bill and I are fishing a mixture of 6 and 10 pound leaders. Bill's gone with 6. I'm from Queensland and I know I'm targeting bass, so I'm erring on the side of caution. I know what they can do. I'm with the 10 pound leader at the moment. 6 pound, file line tournament exceed. That's helping us cast in there and get these fish out. Still got the adrenaline going. We'll stick this guy in the measure and toe to tail, sitting around that 31 centimetre mark, probably about 30 to the fork. Really well conditioned Aussie bass. Victorian impoundment. Seems a bit out of place, but not anymore. You guys down south, you've really got something to look forward to in the upcoming years, and you really got to thank your local fisheries guys that are putting your licence fees to work and stocking a superb sport fish for your pleasure, some of your local impoundments, and I really hope to see these magnificent creatures flourish in the years to come. And what a way to catch them, little surface lure. Little 3B Berkeley Scumdog on surface lures that they put out. And don't these fish just love them? And off he goes.
To keep up to date with everything the Fishing Show crew is up to, including our latest competitions and prize giveaways, head over to our Facebook page, AFN The Fishing Show. And if you're keen for content, AFN TV is now free to join with over 1,000 videos at your fingertips, plus tip and tactics from Bill and myself.